Mm. Let me savor this for a minute. Oh, okay. That is some good bacon. Welcome to the channel. This is Bacon and Bezels, where we talk about watches and we talk about bacon, my two favorite things. Now you might want to ask yourself, why would I want to watch a channel about bacon and about bezels? Who is this guy? Who cares? Why am I watching this guy? I'm wasting my time. Now, to some of you, that may be true. You may be wasting your time. But to others, if you love watches and if you have a mild interest in bacon of any kind, in any way, you might enjoy this channel. So that's my pitch to you. If that pitch sounds enticing, then you might want to stick around because it's going to be a crazy ride. Now, on this channel, I want to look at vintage watches, watches in my collection that I've acquired over the years, the stories that come along with them, and why it matters. Why do watches nowadays matter when everybody has an Apple Watch and everybody has an iPhone and we can tell the time? Who gives a crap about a watch anymore? Why should you have one? Why does it matter? And I'm going to go over that because I am very passionate about it, and it's something that really has been a part of my life for probably the last 3 years, I would say. And in those 3 years, I've really, become passionate about it, and I want to tell other people about it because when you have a passion, that's what it makes you do. It makes you want to tell other people about it. People at work who are probably watching this, they see watches on my wrist all the time. They're like, why, what's up with that watch? What's that one? And they're all interested. And that's something I really enjoy talking about. A couple years ago, my grandpa passed quite a few years ago now, but after he passed, my dad found his watch in our garage, in some boxes. And this was his watch. It was a Wittnauer. It's made in Japan, but Wittnauer has a really interesting history. They were actually owned by Longines, which is another brand that I really like, and I have a Longines watch, and I'll show that in future videos. But this watch was really cool, and I wasn't really into watches, but then my dad showed me this watch, and I saw the automatic movement. I don't know if you can see it there. Still plugging away. This watch is probably from the 70s, and it was still moving, and I'm like, how is that possible? But it doesn't have a battery. It's automatic. It has a rotor in the back that moves, and it makes it move by your arm energy and just movement, and that was so cool to me. And I was like, this is interesting, and I started looking into it, and the next thing you know, I have tons of watches. But the really interesting thing about this, and this is what I wanted to make my first video on, was this watch, because it was my grandpa's watch, and it's really what got me into it. The story of the watch is what really intrigues me, and I like modern watches, but vintage watches are what I really like because the story behind them. What compelled my grandpa to go and buy this automatic, brown-faced, gold bezel watch? It's very unique and it's very interesting. I've never seen one again on the internet. I've looked everywhere for one. I've seen one that's orange, but it's not in good a shape as this one. And so I've never seen one like it. So it just got me thinking, what made him go buy this? In the 70s, in that time that he would have bought this watch, quartz watches were all the rage, which is battery powered watches. They came out in the 80s, early 70s, and that was what people bought. They didn't see a need for automatic watches anymore. Why should we have to wind the watches? Why should we have to shake it to get it to work when we have this battery powered watch? And it's more accurate, and why would I want an automatic watch? And the beauty of automatic and manual wind watches kind of went away. So it's interesting to me that he went and bought this automatic watch. Now, at the time, automatic watches now are way more expensive because they take the time to make the rotors and the movements, and generally quartz watches nowadays are cheaper. But back then in the 70s and the 80s, because they were the new thing, quartz watches were really expensive. So one thing that I can see is that maybe he just didn't want to pay for the most, newest expensive quartz watch, and he went and got this, and I'm glad he did, because now I have the history behind it, which is really cool. So yeah, please join me on this journey. This is my first video. I don't have an intro yet. I don't have music. I don't have anything. It's just me. But I'm hoping to make a lot more videos like this in the future. And I'm going to show my watch collection. I'm going to show each one of those watches that I show in the watch collection. I'm going to show the story of how I got that watch and what it means to me. And if you're a watch collector, I think you'll really enjoy it. If you're not, if you're just, seeing what all the fuss is about and why I'm into this, I think it'll shed some light and show you, each watch has its own story. Like my grandpa's watch, it has a story to it. And that's really cool. I never got to talk to him about why he bought that watch, and I wish I had that opportunity. But it's really cool because a lot of families have that watch that your grandpa wore that you don't really know much about. And I think that's really cool. So yeah, this is Bacon and Bezels. If you would subscribe, I would really appreciate it. If you would like this video, that would be awesome, very helpful. And I hope you stay with me. Thank you.